Hello everyone, welcome back to more AEW and TEW2020. We are finally here at Double or Nothing, our biggest pay-per-view to date. And, well, we start off with just our, our normal thing where we have, just to make sure that everyone gets on the card, so that we make people happy. We have the pre-show Battle Royale. Pillman Jr. gets a hernia, that's whatever. Then, the women's... AJ Mendez ends up winning. Jungle Boy had won the last one. And then getting into the actual show, Jeff Hardy and Pac gets a 75 as Pac defeats Jeff Hardy in 9:39 with a 450 splash. Pac with an in-ring performance of an 89. Jeff Hardy with a 68. After the match, however, Pac looks ready to continue with a beatdown when he's interrupted by the voice of Paul Heyman coming from backstage. Heyman walks out with a mic, he begins to speak, and says, "Pac, I would recommend that you don't continue your beatdown. While you have won the match, that just means that you have beaten Jeff Hardy in the ring and retained your title. Considering your actions in the past few weeks, I, as the new head of talent management, may have to punish you for continuing such an action with fines, possible suspension, or revocation of your title. If you want, of course, we can talk in my office about your upcoming plans, but I am a very busy man, Pac." And Heyman walks backstage. Pac, he takes a little bit, but he does eventually head backstage as well. So yes, Paul Heyman is one of our three big new signings, and he was the, as it said here, he's the head of talent management. So, that new executive that we brought in, it's Heyman. Heyman is here. He's going to be our kayfabe reason why I start doing some booking stuff with the records. He's going to be a very, very good hand in terms of promos. I'm not going to use him like full-blown, well, I mean, he still is a full-blown authority figure, but I'm not going to use him in a super high capacity. So, he's not going to be out there for, every single day booking the matches. But when he does show up, it'll be something very important. Heyman is the, essentially, he's the last person you want to have see on screen, but he's very high up, and if he does have to appear on screen, he will be very important for that. Paul Heyman, great addition. After this, Shotzi Blackheart and Chris Statlander defeat the VIPs Club when Shotzi pins Tenille with a Fright Night. Then we have our Women's Championship match, as Kana defeats Kairi Hojo, Mayu, and Shida, when Kana pins Kairi, the Billiken. So, very good match. Mayu with an 80. If you remember to our last episode, they all had about 73s, the three contenders, and now it's a little bit more all over the place, but Mayu definitely with the biggest performance jump of the night. Kana, Kana's always fantastic. She does have the Midas Touch trait, which is helping that up. But even still, I mean, Mayu Iwatani, she's very young. She's only 28, getting an 80 performance. Fantastic. Mayu Iwatani, very close to... Actually, I mean, honestly, Mayu is our second best performer on the women's side, behind only the champion. So, Mayu definitely needs to build herself up to that point where she is going to be just completely, just unstoppable. Mayu is I love Mayu so much. Mayu's fantastic in the ring, but not quite her time yet. Kana getting the win. After this, Nashville Flair defeats Nyla Rose. I did honestly want to have Nyla win this one, but Flair basically just did a Hogan and said, "That won't work for me, brother." Well, she just said that she would be furious with the booking of the match, even though I kept her strong. It's whatever. I'm not really too invested in either of these. Actually, Flair is a good person to feed to some younger talent. To really... I'm almost intending to use Flair as, as that gatekeeper, that person who we're going to have as that last stepping stone before you can really be really, really noticed as a main caliber player. But she does pick up a win on pay-per-view finally. After this, Anna Jay and Ty Conti end up defeating Brandy Rhodes and Jordan Grace when Ty Conti submits Brandy Rhodes with a cross armbar. Jordan Grace, the only really solid worker out of this bunch. Jay and Tay are just a bit inexperienced. Brandy Rhodes, never really been outstanding as a worker. Jordan Grace, way above everyone else, carrying the match. So, it still works fairly well, but afterwards, Jay and Tay get evil looks on their faces, and Anna Jay goes to deal with Jordan Grace, while Tay begins to destroy Brandy with a steel chair. Eventually, Tay also turns her attention to Jordan Grace. Two members of the Dark Order continue to beat down the biggest prospect of the Nightmare family. The other members of the Nightmare family rush out and begin to try to save Grace, but they are met by other members of the Dark Order. So I'm imagining this is everyone except for the leaders of the factions, of course, because they are in the Casino Battle Royale. Everyone in both of these factions is going out there. Everyone's going through, and there's a huge brawl. Eventually, Jay and Tay are the only people left standing. It'll probably end up with something like Gresham getting super kicked by Anna Jay, or being speared by Anna Jay or something. But still, very simple match. This is very much a cooldown segment. Because, again, while I don't actually have the crowd management turned on, I do want to kind of simulate that a little bit. So we are staggering, for the most part we have, we have title match, unimportant match, title match, unimportant match. It does get a little bit cluttered up at the end, but we'll see how things go from there. After this, Private Party get the shock win over FTR when Cassidy submits Dax Harwood. Private Party win the AEW World Tag Team titles. 75 rating, fantastic match. Isaiah Cassidy, Mark Quinn, they've been doing wonders, especially with the product shift. They're a great team for the future. FTR, they're very good. They really stepped it up here. I think it was in their match against Betts and ZSJ, that they kind of disappointed, honestly. They had like 60 ratings. I thought, okay, they're way too washed up. I was planning on giving Private Party the titles at Double or Nothing not from the very beginning, but the point of the tag team tournament was to get Private Party to win the tag titles here at Double or Nothing. But I thought, hey, we need to hotshot this a lot quicker with that performance, but Dax and Cash, they must have just had an off night against CSJ and Betts, but still, very good performance. I am very happy with this match. Afterwards, Private Party are celebrating as FTR and Kurt Angle look stunned by the upset win. The tag champs and their manager, the Godfather, continue celebrating for a while Kurt is whispering to FTR. FTR get up, and, maybe they're teasing like, hey, they're going to start beating him down, but no, it's, peaceful. They're being very respectful about this. Hey, we lost. That's fine. Our current longest reigning champions have been dethroned. After this, Kota Ibushi defeats Chris Jericho with Phoenix Splash. Explanations on this match in a moment. First, we do have lots of changes. First of all, Kenny Omega has returned, and he has turned babyface. Oh, that's supposed to be in this next segment, but whatever, it can work. End of the match sees the return of Kenny Omega, who comes in support of Kota Ibushi after the arrival of Proud and Powerful. After there's a ref bump, two members of the Inner Circle look ready to fight Kenny and stay in the Inner Circle, but Kenny starts walking close, and Santana and Ortiz just walk away. They give up. They're done with the Inner Circle. Jericho has been bullying them for too long, and then Kenny and Jericho get into a match. Kenny ends up super kicking Jericho, who was going to beat down Kota with the baseball bat because the ref was down. Kenny then hits Jericho with a one-winged angel. Kota then hits the Phoenix Splash. And then, 1, 2, 3, Kenny slides to the ring, offers a hand to Kota, they handshake, and then they hug, and Pyro goes off. And all is happy as we have lots of face turns. Kenny turns face. Santana and Ortiz turn face. Kota's a face. Jericho has just lost two members of the Inner Circle. And we'll see what a face, Proud and Powerful can do in just coming up, seeing how things will go from there. But a very good segment. I'm very happy with this pay-per-view so far. And now, the Casino Battle Royale. Let's get to reading off my script for it. So, this time, it is, unlike, an actual Casino Battle Royale where, you have the suits, you have people entering there. This is just a 25-man Royal Rumble, basically. Anyways, We start off the first two entrants being Brian Cage and Charles Betts. Those two, they're very big into each other. They're very much going at it before Zack Sabre Jr. makes his entrance. ZSJ and Betts, they were teaming up together. They were doing great work against Brian Cage. They're thinking, all right, yeah, we did lose the tag titles, but one of us can still win the TNT title, or win the world title for winning this. Yes, we are a bit unfortunate to be so early, but then some unfamiliar music plays, and people who had been listening to TNA some years prior would be able to recognize it as Nation of Violence, as Samoa Joe enters. Joe rushes in. There's a little bit of a stalemate. You have Betts and Sabre Jr. on one side of the ring, you have Cage on another, and you have Joe right next to the ramp. There's this stare-off, and eventually Cage and Joe rush off. They start fighting off against ZSJ and Betts, and yeah, this is very, you have this two squaring off, and at this point in time, it is confirmed by the announcers that Samoa Joe is the new member of Team Taz. The next entrant is Penta El Cero Miedo. And that's a bit of an unfortunate gimmick pros and cons, but whatever. Penta El Cero Miedo comes in. This was originally supposed to be Ray Phoenix. And Joe locks Charles Betts into a coquina clutch as Cage is fighting ZSJ, and Penta just kind of sits back and watches this happen because, hey, I'm not going to get in this fight. It's good for me to just stay back. ZSJ eventually does manage to get away from Brian Cage, because those two are brawling, and he manages to get Charles Betts out of the lock as Jacob Fatu makes his entrance. And then, where am I at? Okay, so then we have, we at this point we have Team Taz, where we have Samoa Joe, Brian Cage. We have Team Angle, Charles Betts, Zack Sabre Jr., and we have the Blood Brothers, Penta El Cero Miedo, and Jacob Fatu. They're all in their own corners. They're looking at each other. We have this Mexican standoff. Then, all at once, they rush in. Joe goes back to fighting Betts. Sabre Jr. and Penta start fighting, and Fatu and Cage begin to fight. Adam Page's music comes in as entrant number 7, as Samoa Joe eliminates Charles Betts as the first elimination. Right as Page's music hits, right as Page hits the ring, Zack Sabre Jr. is eliminated by Penta El Cero Miedo, but Page quickly takes advantage of Penta being out of position and eliminates Penta as well. 3 very rapid-fire eliminations after none initially. Samoa Joe then goes in and starts fighting with Adam Page while Cage and Fatu are still fighting. Entrant number 8 is Bandito, as he rushes in and he starts helping out Adam Page. And he does, Page, he thanks Bandito for the help because, well, they did have that little bit of history beforehand, and now Page has a little bit more of an upper hand on Joe. He's not completely taken down. Bandito also does help out for a little bit. He probably maybe delivered a few shots to Fatu and Cage, got pushed aside, and then decided, alright, I'm going to help Page. After this, Ace Austin's music hits, and he enters the ring, and he right away goes for the group with Samoa Joe, and he does manage to eliminate Bandito. However, he does... never mind, I misread my notes here. So, Bandito is fighting with Fatu and Cage. Then Ace Austin goes to that group. He eliminates Bandito. Brian Cage is also eliminated shortly after. And, they beat down Fatu a little bit. But Alex Shelley is your next entrant. A little bit of a surprise entrant coming in here. Single tag team guy entering. But still, no more... there's just a little bit of a lull moment in the match, It is fairly star-packed, especially with Joe and Paige, who probably at this point are really the only, him, Paige, and Austin, Joe, Paige, and Austin, that is, are probably the only people who it's realistic could probably have a chance at winning this match as far, so it's a little bit of a slow moment. Eventually, There's some fighting. Joe takes down Jacob Fatu, and then he locks Adam Page into a coquina clutch using the ropes for assistance. Cody then enters, and he doesn't even go through his whole entrance shtick. He just sprints out, and he breaks up the submission. But Joe is very mad about this and starts beating up Cody as a result. Adam Page takes this opportunity to do the usual spot where the Iron Man of the match rolls to the outside just to catch their breath. Alex Shelley is just about to eliminate Ace Austin, as a little bit of a surprise when Jake Hager's music hits. Hager saves Ace from the potential elimination, and then he's ready to eliminate Shelley, but they're stopped by Jacob Fatu. Then our next entrant is Brody Lee. He comes in, and he helps out Samoa Joe with attacking Cody, but eventually he does turn on Joe. They're not faction members. Brody was just helping out because it's attacking Cody. And then, there's a little bit of fighting still, and we have, eventually, on the other side of the ring, we have Jacob Fatu eliminating Ace Austin, but Fatu is then eliminated by Hager and Joe in tandem. However, probably the most important part about this is that despite it being on opposite sides of the ring, Ace Austin, he gets eliminated. He gets up fairly quickly. Obviously, he still does take some time to sell the injury, and then he's like, wait a minute, there's someone on the outside. Ace is very smart with this match. He saw that Adam Page rolled under the bottom rope. So, grab Page, roll him back in the ring, run away. And he does tell Hager to eliminate Ace, but, he doesn't really mind if someone else to eliminate Page, that is. But he doesn't really mind if anyone else takes it. After this, we have Andrew Everett arriving, and right away he does hit Brody Lee with a crossbody, which accidentally saves Cody, but, Cody's not going to complain. Joe then eliminates Jake Hager before going to put on he's ready to put on another coquina clutch onto Adam Page, who's still struggling up against the ropes. He's still climbing up them, but Joe is ready to he's trying to lock it in, but Cody shows up from behind. He goes in, and he pushes Joe over, Adam Page lowering the ropes, and Joe is gone. First big debut, member of Team Taz is out of here, but he had a very nice performance. After this, Garza Jr. arrives, and he right away goes after Andrew Everett. There's still that feud with Sting, Garza and Sting. Andrew Everett being one of Sting's proteges. After this, there's a fight for a while. Not really, I'm imagining it takes a little bit more and more time between each entrance, so, it's like, obviously, first two entrants right away, then maybe 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3. Obviously, it's not that quickly because this match it only had a time limit of an hour, but that's fine. Brody Lee, he ends up hitting everyone with his discus lariat, and he's the last one standing. He kind of looks around for a little bit, he takes a look at the carnage that he's caused before picking up Cody and tossing him out of the ring. Brody looks very happy with himself, but Samoa Joe sprints out from backstage. He's very angry at Cody for being one of the people to help eliminate him, and he locks Cody into a coquina clutch, and a bunch of people who were on that pre-show Battle Royale show up and come in to try to break it up. Brody is also getting ready to eliminate Adam Page, possibly even because he sees that Joe is here and thinks, hey, you know what? I think this would be fun to have Joe kill everyone who eliminated him. But before he can get to Page, entrant number 16, Jon Moxley, arrives. Moxley gets face-to-face with Brody Lee, and they start brawling. And then we get a big spot where, after brawling for a while, Moxley takes down Brody Lee with a lariat. Shelley then knocks down Moxley with a reverse DDT. He's then hit with a buckshot lariat from Adam Page, who gets hit with a super kick from Garza Jr., before getting hit with a top rope Hurricane Rana from Andrew Everett. Everett, he quickly gets up to the top rope, but he hasn't really decided what he wants to do yet. But in the end, he seems to have made a decision. He's getting ready to fight, getting ready to do a 630 onto someone, but Brody Lee manages to hit the ropes, crouches Andrew Everett, and Everett falls inside the ring. He is not eliminated, but Brody is also down out of exhaustion. Everyone's down. Literally everyone's down. As Lance Archer enters And right away, he takes out Alex Shelley, delivers a blackout, which is that powerbomb thing. I'm pretty sure that's the powerbomb thing he does. Whatever it is, it's the crucifix powerbomb that he does. And he throws them onto the pile of people who are trying to help break up Joe from Cody. And after this, Lance just kind of punches people a lot. He hurts people a lot, but he doesn't eliminate anyone else. And then, while Lance is doing this, Scott Steiner's music plays. And Big Papa Pump himself heads to the ring. He and Archer get face-to-face, or at least as close as face-to-face as they can get, because there's a bit of a height difference. Before anything can happen between them, Moxley gets up and starts attacking Archer. Steiner is then stopped from joining in by Brody Lee. Steiner delivers a suplex to Brody Lee, delivers some more moves to Everett, Page, and Garza. Steiner then goes to try to eliminate Moxley, but he does tumble over the top rope. Scott Steiner, just, one of those ones where it's just like, hey, we have this legend. He's going to have a spot in the Rumble match. He's just going to get his moves off, then get eliminated. Real quick thing, Pop the Boys. Scott Steiner, Big Papa Pump, has done stuff in ring. After that, Orange Cassidy's music plays, but Orange Cassidy doesn't actually make it in time. He's not in the ring by the time that our next entrant arrives. He's just, he's being very lazy. He's just kind of walking. He's taking in the scenery. Maybe even looking at the EMTs who are checking up on Cody. Looking at the police officers who are escorting Samoa Joe away. All that stuff. Maybe even shows up, hops over to the commentary team or whatever. But there's a bunch of, there's still the fighting with Moxley, with Archer. Moxley, what is this? Okay. So then we have, okay, never mind. So Brody Lee he ends up being the last one standing in the ring once again. He tells Orange Cassidy to hurry it up, but Brody, he's wise about this. He's not going to let this be an instant where someone can, run in, tip him over the top rope while he's distracted by trying to get someone else in. He's smack dab in the middle of the ring, but he does take a little bit too long before turning around to make sure everyone's down, as Andrew Everett manages to get to the top rope, hits a missile drop kick, and then Lance Archer, he's up by this point. He's ready to deliver a choke slam to Everett, but Garza also hits Archer with a missile drop kick, and he kind of taunts to Archer that he's the only one allowed to eliminate Andrew Everett. Eddie Kingston is our next entrant, and him and Moxley, he's selling in the corner. Kingston beelines for him, and he doesn't even fight Moxley. He's just talking with him, trying to convince him to join up, join up like old times. And Garza and Everett, they're still fighting. Orange Cassidy, Eddie Kingston, he kind of beelines, he enters the ring. Probably by the time that he gets to Moxley, Orange Cassidy finally enters the ring. But eventually, Everett is beaten down, and Garza turns his attention to Orange Cassidy because, hey, if someone's going to stop me, it's probably going to be Orange Cassidy. And then Garza does a little bit of a comedy spot. He makes fun of Cassidy for a bit. He takes Cassidy's sunglasses, puts them on himself, and then they even do that, the Pac Cassidy spot where, Orange is doing the lazy super kicks, and Garza does them back. But eventually, he takes the glasses off, tells Garza takes the glasses off, tells Cassidy that they're shitty glasses, tosses them out of the ring, and then he goes to try to attack Orange Cassidy. Cassidy does his usual fire-up routine where he has the hands in the pockets, he does the drop down, the leapfrog, all that stuff. And eventually he does knock down Garza. Andrew Everett takes this opportunity to eliminate him. Then, probably the most important part of the match, as some unfamiliar music plays. The commentary team assumes that this is the other unknown signing, and it's proven right when the Titantron begins to read The Prince, and Fergal Devitt walks onto the stage. Devitt enters the ring, and right away, he's on fire. He's kicking ass. He's beating everyone down. He eliminates Andrew Everett and Orange Cassidy. Very quick succession, very soon after entering. Eddie Kingston, he's the first one to really put up any fight because he's very fresh. He hasn't even fought yet. Orange Cassidy did put up a little bit of a fight, but imagining that Cassidy didn't even have time to take his hands out of his pockets. Still kind of protects Cassidy a little bit, but, he's still eliminated. And Kingston, he's fighting down Devitt, but Devitt overpowers him easily. Devitt gets ready to eliminate him, but Moxley has finally gotten up. He knocks down Devitt. And then we have another spot where everyone goes down as Brody Lee gets up. He powerbombs Moxley. Then he gets lariated by Lance Archer, who then gets DDT'd by Hangman Page. But Page, because he has been in for quite a while at this point, is down from exhaustion. And then Luchasaurus enters. There's still entrants being here. There's still more people to enter the match, and Luchasaurus is like, okay, what do I do now? But yeah, eventually, he does take a little bit too long. He eventually decides to try to eliminate Eddie Kingston, but Jon Moxley does stop him. Sammy Guevara is the next one to enter, and he gets to the ring. He delivers the 450 to Brody Lee, starts going over to Kingston and Moxley, who are about ready to eliminate Luchasaurus, but Devitt hits Guevara with a sling blade. Devitt then pulls Moxley away from the fighting, and that allows Luchasaurus to get some offense in on Kingston. The next entrance is Miro, as he gets Kingston and Moxley on edge. Miro, as soon as he gets to the ring, tosses Eddie Kingston out. This pisses Moxley off, who delivers a DDT to Devitt before rushing at Miro. Miro does manage to catch him into a powerbomb, and then he quick turns around, lariat to Luchasaurus, over the top rope. Luchasaurus is out. And then Miro and Archer begin fighting. Miro, lots of enemies here, I will say. And then, in a bit of a whimper for our final entrant, Donovan Dijak comes up. He and Sammy Guevara immediately go at it. Lance Archer is eliminated by Miro shortly afterwards, but then Miro is eliminated by Moxley. Moxley starts yelling at him. Devitt tries to take the opportunity to eliminate Moxley, but Moxley does manage to fight him off. Miro and Archer are still fighting on the outside. After knocking Dijak down, Guevara gets ready to hit another 450, and it's proven very quickly why you shouldn't go to the top rope in a battle royale, as Adam Page, who suddenly just has this huge burst of energy, he beels Sammy off the top rope onto Lance and Miro, and Guevara is eliminated. He then just kind of picks up Dijak and tosses him out. And so, we are down to the final four, I think. Yeah, down to our final four. Moxley and Devitt are still brawling with each other, and Brody goes to eliminate Page. Page is a House of Fire against Brody Lee. He goes through the middle rope to set up for a buckshot lariat. He does hit it on Brody Lee, but before he can eliminate Brody, Devitt manages to get enough of a break in the fight with Moxley. He gets some offense in on Adam Page, and eliminate Adam Page, who lasted for most of the match. Final three is Jon Moxley, then catches up with Devitt, and he begins to brawl, and Moxley actually does eliminate Devitt. Devitt is probably expecting Moxley to take a little bit longer to recover. That's a shame. Takes a little bit of time to recover, but, a little bit surprised. And then Brody Lee is up. He delivers a powerbomb to Moxley, delivers a spinning lariat, and eliminates Jon Moxley. Brody Lee is your winner of the Casino Battle Royale in 58 minutes and 42 seconds. Adam Page, we had a lot of people, I did count through the eliminations on here. Samoa Joe had the eliminations of Betts, Fatu, and Hager. Penta eliminated Sabre Jr. Page eliminated Penta, Guevara, Dijak, and Joe. Technically Cody took out Joe, but just so that I can actually give the most eliminations, I gave it to Page. Ace Austin eliminated Bandito and Cage. Fatu eliminated Austin. Brody eliminated Cody and Moxley. Lance Archer eliminated Shelley. Moxley eliminated Steiner, Devitt, and Miro. Everett eliminated Garza. Devitt eliminated Everett, Cassidy, and Page. And Miro eliminated Kingston, Luchasaurus, and Lance Archer. I'm very happy with this. The rating's not the best, but you're never really going to have a hugely great rating with a Battle Royale. But still, very happy with this. We have the debuts of Samoa Joe and Fergal Devitt. Very psyched about those. But now, we're on to our main event, the world title match between MJF and Darby Allin, and it delivers. MJF defeats Darby Allin with a roll-up. And Darby does outperform MJF. That is probably the thing that I'm most sad about with the product changes, is that MJF does kind of struggle. But still, 7-man performance. I'm very happy with the show. This is probably going to be our best event ever. And it is a... drum roll... 79! I think that's actually our best show rating ever. Even with the live events, this was just a fantastic show. I'm very happy with this, and following up Double or Nothing, we'll see how things change. So, yeah. Once we reach June, things will be different here in the new Heyman era.